It is not difficult to form an LLC. It is not cost prohibitive to form an LLC. It's actually quite inexpensive, and it saves you a lot of risk. Okay, and the risk you're going to face, that initially off the top of my head, is
go out and solve a problem.
Yeah.
Right. And how do you solve a problem? Well, you go find out what the problems are. And I've said it. Go stand on a street corner and ask people, like, hey, what are some common problems you have? He is literally doing what I have told people to do.
People don't realize is a sweet spot for a business. You don't have to make millions.
No.
You don't have to make millions. Good luck. I hope you do. You know,
I do
good for
too.
you. But you don't have to make millions of dollars to have a successful business.
No.
How you doing? Welcome back to Startitorscrapit. This is the podcast where we take your questions live during the podcast and regarding starting a business, running a business, basically anything to do with business and business strategy.
Yep.
I'm Mike Turkanian.
I'm Gummi.
And we're here to help keep you on the right track when it comes to running and starting your businesses. So if you have questions or comments, put them into the comments, and we'd love to take your question live on the podcast today and try to get you some decent advice at least, right?
Yeah.
Decent-ish
Advice. Let's go with that.
Just call it advice.
Mm-hmm.
How you been, man? What's been going on in your world?
Good. I got to tell you this.
Yeah, tell me.
So I get a phone call this morning.
Really? A phone call?
Yeah.
Wow.
My buddy that started his business.
Okay.
And he goes, can you look up if my business is actually registered?
Oh, man.
Yeah. He's like, because I registered all the stuff. And he's like, I think I did it all right. And he's like, I don't know if the EIN thing went through because I never got the letter.
Oh, boy.
And I'm like, well, did you get your contractor license at least? And he's like, yeah, but I only ever got the temporary one. I don't have aren't they supposed to mail you one out? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you need to send me all your info.
Something's wrong.
We need to take a look at this because something's not adding up.
Right.
Right. Like you should have gotten a letter from the IRS with your EIN on it.
That can take 12 weeks, just so you know.
Oh, he did this in January.
Oh, okay. 12 weeks have come and gone.
No, actually he did it last year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm like, send me all your stuff. Let me see what I can dig up. And I'm like, your CPA should be able to find your EIN and all that stuff. Because he was in business last year, so he should have filed at least 1 year of taxes, right?
Maybe. If you had any activity.
Correct. Yeah. Well, he did because I was his first paying customer.
Oh, there you go.
So I know he got paid at least one thing last year. But yeah, now I'm like, I don't even want to ask him like if he did contracts or any of that stuff, because like if you haven't gotten this stuff right, I'm worried about all the other stuff. And he's already built a $300,000 deck.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's doing work in people's homes.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Now he's working as a subcontractor for someone else,
But doesn't matter.
Yes.
So, all right. So did you find, does he have an actual business registered with the state?
I
Do
don't
we
know.
know?
He hasn't sent me.
Oh, he hasn't sent you any of the information yet.
Nope. So I'm waiting patiently.
Oh, boy.
Or impatiently. However you want to look at it.
Look, man, I've talked about this stuff like this before. I have a client right now, and I've had other clients in the past with similar issues.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's been in business for 40 years.
Yep.
And his LLC name doesn't match the name on the EIN, which doesn't match the name on the home improvement contractor's license, which doesn't match the name on the contract.
See, I've seen that for people that have been in business for a long time.
It's just you're shooting yourself in the foot. You really are.
I had to verify a Google business profile for someone the other day because they got totally suspended. Right.
Okay.
So I'm like, hey, send me your utility bills,
right,
your phone bill, tax return, DBA, just so I can submit this stuff.
Yep.
None of it matched.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, how do you want me to submit this?
Yeah. What do you want me to do with
as
that?
Proof of like, so they actually had to go out and change the name on their utility bills.
Oh,
and
man.
like, I was like, how does this happen? Like, how do you not file basic things?
Well, a lot of times people just don't know, right? So, and this, For us, it's obvious. We've been doing this for so long, right? Especially for me. I set
Yeah.
up 100
I mean,
companies a year at least.
for you, it's a no-brainer,
Yeah.
right? Like
I could do it in my sleep.
I did this on my own,
Right.
like back in 2005.
Right. But I'll bet
Right?
you when you first started, it was like, hey, well, what's this mean? Well, what's that mean? Well, what's that
Yeah.
mean? Right. And it was actually a lot easier in 2005 than it is today.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's more hurdles and stuff to jump through now.
Oh, okay.
But so, all right. So then the advice, I guess, for anybody listening on TikTok now or anybody who watches the podcast later, do you need to go to an attorney to set up your LLC corporation? No, you don't need to.
No.
If you know what you're doing, or you can follow directions very, very, very carefully, you can get by doing it on your own. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not promoting that you
Isn't-
must use an attorney.
No. Even I think so. When we first started, I think I used LegalZoom.
Yeah.
Because they
Mhm.
like they will submit all the paperwork,
Right.
all that stuff. So like it's yeah.
Yeah, you could use a service like that as well. The problem comes in though, where if you're not using like some type of advisor, again, attorney, business advisor, whatever it's going to be, is you don't know what else you need.
Correct.
Right. So LegalZoom, for example, great company. They do a good
Yep.
job with registering your LLC, getting your EIN set up and things like that. But they're not necessarily good at telling you, oh, by the way, if you're in Pennsylvania or New Jersey, you need a license because you're doing this type of business or
Correct.
something like that. And that's where the problem really comes into play. So, for example, in Pennsylvania, and we've talked about this before, but in Pennsylvania, if you're a home improvement contractor, you not only need a home improvement contractor's license, but you need the right contracts, and you cannot just download this contract off Google. It's not the right contract.
Yeah.
The contract has to be very specific. So there are all kinds of little rules and nuances that, again, doesn't have to be specifically an attorney, but somebody who knows what they're doing in that industry, because that's going to help you
and knows where to guide you to next.
Yes, knows where to guide you to next, because you don't know what the next step is going to be, right? So, for example, all right, let's say you got everything done. You worked with an attorney, or you worked with an advisor, or you worked with someone who did this before, and they got you your license, they got you your contracts, everything's good to go. You go out and you start getting customers, right? Oh, I got to hire a subcontractor because I can't do this job on my own, or I'm not a chimney guy, but it calls for chimney work, so I need to hire a subcontractor. Well, that's a whole new set of problems, right?
Yes.
So you need someone that you can turn to say, all right, I need to hire a subcontractor to do this work. What do I need to do?
Right.
And some people think that, oh, you just tell them what to do. They send you send you an invoice and you pay them. It is not that simple. What if they make a mistake? What if they get hurt? Right. What if they're at the site and the homeowner doesn't want to work with that subcontractor for whatever reason? Did you give the homeowner advance notice that the subcontractor is going to be coming onto their property? If not, it could be a trespass issue, right? So there are all kinds of crazy things that can happen if you're not careful and you don't know what you're doing. So I guess the point of it is, as you were getting to earlier, is when you're first starting out in business, you don't know what you don't know.
Correct.
It sounds simple. And you see the ads on TV all the time. Just start your LLC and go from there. No, it is not that easy. There are a variety of things that you have to take care of. Forget about compliance and regulations. Okay, that's just one hurdle you have to get over. And again, you do enough research, you'll figure it out. But compliance and regulations are one thing. Registering properly, making sure you have the proper license if need be. There are certain industries, right? Like attorneys make sense, doctor makes sense, but there are certain industries that people don't realize you need a professional license in order to do.
Correct.
And if you don't have that professional license, you could actually be committing a criminal act.
Correct.
And it sounds like, well, yeah, sure, of course you need a license to be an attorney, but there are certain medical field, like psychiatrist sounds right, but there are certain nuances of that. I can't think of the exact one, where you can't just, like a psychologist, you can't just go and say, hey, I'm going to start, set up shop and do this.
In order to be a plumber in Pennsylvania, don't you need a plumber's license?
You need a home improvement contractor's license.
Okay. So you don't need the master plumbing license or any other stuff to start.
Only to say you're a master plumber.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That is an issue.
Yeah.
That is an issue.
So any Joe out on the street can say I'm a plumber.
Technically, yes, to a point. What will happen a lot of times is the townships won't allow you to get a permit unless you have that license, that certificate. But if the township doesn't stop you, all the state cares about is, did you pay the $50 for the license, the home improvement contractor's license? That's all they care about. Yeah, that's all they care about. And you have a license number. So yeah, that's the downfall. But again, this goes way beyond home improvement contractors. There's all kinds of industries where you're going to need certain licensing for you, need certain criteria, you need certain education in order to be legal. So
It's crazy.
highly suggest you speak with them. And even if you speak with an advisor and you do all that, it doesn't necessarily mean you have everything you need.
So it's interesting because I have a client that they're plumbing and basement waterproofing, right? So they can do the waterproofing both in Pennsylvania and New Jersey.
Yeah.
But he can only do the plumbing in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So like the interesting thing is we have to figure out how to advertise his business now.
Oh, right.
Right. Well, we can't advertise the plumbing in New Jersey.
Sure.
We can only do the waterproofing. It's like weird. It's a whole nuanced, marketing around it too, because we sit right on a state line.
Yeah.
Right. So like when you're looking at Google business profiles, well, now the question comes up, do we need 2 of them? Because when we're running local service ads, for example, right,
you're right.
We have to set the parameters of, well, where do you want to advertise? Well, for this, I want to advertise in New Jersey. This I can only do in Pennsylvania, but I can't split the campaigns and say, oh, we only want these in Jersey. It's the profile as a whole, right? Like
that gets complicated.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't think about that.
It's very interesting.
Have you figured out what to do?
Yeah, we need a second profile.
So you need a second profile. Yeah. That's the only thing that comes to mind for me.
And it was actually the reason I found out that's you are allowed to have 2 profiles with extenuating circumstances. Mm-hmm. So this falls under that.
Okay.
So it's one business. It's one business, 2 DBAs, same address, same everything. But because one cannot provide services beyond what the other one is, they're considered different markets that they're going after.
Okay.
And therefore we can have 2 profiles. Like it's weird.
We do have a question from Bert21. We'll get to your question in just a minute, Bert. So just hang on. So that's great. You have to have 2 different profiles in order to do that.
Yes.
I can totally see that. I can understand why. And actually, I think that makes sense too.
It's a nightmare of a process to go through.
To get the second profile. But once it's set up, I think it actually makes your job easier because now you can specifically target New Jersey people versus Pennsylvania people. Yeah. Yes. I totally see that. All right. So this is from Bert21 on TikTok, and anybody else on TikTok, if you have questions, please put them in the comments. We'll absolutely love to get to them today. Bert says, I own a contractor leads business where I supply larger companies with work for hire. Think plumbing and roofing. It's all online. Do I need to form an LLC? Okay. Yes.
So needs is a relative term, right? What is your risk tolerance personally is what it comes down to.
So, all right. So Bert, here's what it comes down to. My initial, not legal advice, just friendly on the air podcast advice is, if this were me, I would absolutely form an LLC. And the reason is because of, again, risk tolerance. What's your liability? It is not difficult to form an LLC. It is not cost prohibitive to form an LLC. It's actually quite inexpensive. And it saves you a lot of risk. Okay. And the risk you're going to face, that initially off the top of my head, is the person, so a homeowner contacts you and says, I need my roof replaced. Mm-hmm. You then send that lead to a contractor, and that contractor goes out and does a bad job. They don't replace the roof properly. There's all kinds of leaks, and this person just keeps, having issue upon issue. They're going to go after everybody involved. Everyone involved is getting sued. Doesn't matter if you're just the lead generator or if you're the one who did the actual work. Everybody is getting sued at some point on this. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you're responsible. In fact, you're probably not responsible. But one of the unfortunate things in the American justice system, and when it comes to civil suits, is you're still going to have to pay an attorney. You're still going to have to go and fight your battle in order to prove your, I don't want to say innocence, but non-liability.
Right.
and that could cost you tens of thousands of dollars just to prove that you're not even supposed to be involved in this thing. If you don't have an LLC and you can't afford an attorney to do that, or worst case scenario, a judge says, no, you are responsible because of something else that you did. If you don't have an LLC, that could affect your personal assets, your home, your savings, your car, et cetera, et cetera. So having an LLC, and I know people on here are going to say, oh, you could pierce the veil. We'll get to that another time. Having an LLC really helps protect against that, because if you are drug into a lawsuit and for some reason you stay in that lawsuit and lose, you won't lose your personal assets.
Right. And same thing, you need to have at least a basic business insurance that covers you from basic things, right? Like we have for us, we need basic business insurance, and then we have an errors and omission policy as well, because
your policy, absolutely.
Yeah, we publish stuff on behalf of clients, so we need to be covered if we make an error. Like we say, oh, what does it cost to hire a, public adjuster? And we put on the website that it's 20%. Well, the public adjuster charges, let's say 22%. Well, I put out there that it's 20%. It's 22. What happens if the guy now comes back and says, but your website says you do it for 20%.
Right.
Right.
That's who's responsible. You could be responsible for that.
It could have been a typo. It could have been but ultimately I'm responsible for that.
Yeah. Your errors and omission insurance will obviously take care of that, or should take care of that.
Yeah.
So, we have a follow-up question from Jason, who asks if, Bert, if you're a sole proprietor, I'm assuming since you don't have an LLC, I'm assuming you also don't have a corporation, which if you're running this on your own, you're a sole proprietor. If you have partners, obviously you're in a partnership, but you're in a non-registered partnership. You're just an LLC or a corporation.
A verbal contract.
A verbal contract. Jason says a verbal contract. Sure. What do you mean by that? Jason, if you don't mind, expand on that a little bit. Send it over so we can understand what you mean by that, so we can talk about it.
Depending on the state, that means nothing.
Oh, that's not true. That's not true at all. No.
I can go work in your house on a verbal contract?
Absolutely.
Nice.
You can go work on my house without you even saying a word. So you're a painter. Yes. And I say, Gummi, I want you to paint my house and I'm going to pay you $1,000 to do it.
Okay.
And you don't say a word, but you go to the store, you buy the paint, you show up and you start painting. Oh, Gummi, I was just kidding. Doesn't matter. That's a verbal contract.
Really?
Yeah. You took an affirmative action to begin work on an offer that I made. Remember, contract is three things: offer, acceptance, and payment, consideration.
Right.
Offer, acceptance, consideration. The offer was, Gummi, I want you to paint my house. The acceptance was you going to the store and buying paint and then showing up in my house and starting to paint. So that is the acceptance.
Now you have to pay me.
Now I got to pay you.
So how do I prove that you said it?
That's where a fact finder comes in, right? Okay. Now the proof is in the fact finder. But if I'm going there and I'm saying, no, I never said any of that, blah, blah, blah. Well, the fact finder is going to be like, wait a minute, why would he just go to the store and buy paint if you didn't tell him you were going to paint it? Now I don't believe you, Mr. Homeowner. I'm going to believe whatever Gummi says.
Right.
Gummi said $1,000. I'm going to say it's $1,000.
I told him 100.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Right. So, but it cost him $250 in paint. No, I don't think so. Right. So that's where verbal contracts come into play. Yeah. Right. So a verbal contract could absolutely be you and I make an agreement together verbally, or one-sided, but you take an affirmative action to actually start doing that work. That's a verbal contract too. Now, verbal contracts in states, here's what happens.
Right.
Usually in Pennsylvania and in many other states, it's the contract has to be completed within 1 year. Okay. I can't make a verbal contract with you to do something 5 years from now.
Right.
Or something that's going to take longer than a year to do. I'm not going to go into specifics, but if the contract can be completed within a year, a verbal contract's perfectly fine. Yeah. I'll have to brush up on my contract rules. I'm pretty sure it's a year. It's been a while. I don't do verbal contracts. Right. Everything we do is written. So, but I'm pretty sure it's a year. So yeah, verbal contracts are perfectly acceptable.
Interesting.
Yeah. for most things.
For most things.
Can't do it
Right.
for real estate.
Right.
I can't say I'm going to sell you my house for 50 grand and
Right.
and then you show up with 50 grand the next day. Nope, it's got to be in writing.
Can't do it for cars.
Can't do it for. I don't believe you can do it for. I don't know. Nothing
Not
titled.
the actual, yeah.
Nothing titled. Yeah.
Correct. Okay.
So, but yeah, hey, you want to buy this Yeti sticker for $10, right? And you just hand me $10. That's a deal. That's a done deal.
It's a verbal contract.
It's a verbal contract.
Got it.
So,
Okay.
Yeti.
Yeti. I love Yetis.
Do we ever talk about the Yeti video, by the way?
Yeah.
The formation of the,
Yes.
where those guys did this spoof on the start of Yeti.
You showed it to
Oh
me.
man.
You literally pulled it out on your phone and
after the
made me watch it.
podcast, not now, continue watching the podcast, but after the podcast, go on YouTube and look up the video. It's obviously a joke, but look up the spoof video on how Yeti got started. It's incredible. People won't pay $300 for a cooler. No, of course they won't. Boom, Yeti sticker. Now they will. It's so great.
That's funny.
So I highly recommend checking that out.
They did a couple of other ones too, I think.
Oh yeah, they did. Oh, they did one on IKEA.
Oh yeah.
At the start of IKEA. It's so great. You got to watch those.
That's hysterical.
All right. So anyone on the TikTok, first off, Bert, I hope we answered your question. If you do have a follow-up, please send it into the comments and we'll follow up on that. Anybody else in TikTok, if you have questions, please add them to the comments and we'd love to get to them today.
By the way, this is totally unsolicited.
Oh, I'm sure.
But I have found something that's more boring than a baseball game.
First off, baseball is not boring.
Yep.
You can't say that in the United States.
I just said it.
Especially in Philadelphia. We love our Phillies.
I found something that's more boring than a baseball game.
What?
An 18-inning baseball game.
It's the World Series. There's nothing boring about that.
18
That
innings.
was those extra innings were a pitching. Just the pitchers were great. Pitching was great. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It was great.
Okay.
How can you not? So hold on. Now I'm a big fan of soccer. You know that. Okay. Very big fan of soccer. But I can see when people say soccer is boring because you get a game going on for 90 minutes nonstop and they score one goal because it's just passing.
Yes.
How is that not boring? But baseball is.
They can be boring as well. There can be a boring soccer game.
I find it incredibly exciting.
But it's just not the sport as a whole being boring. That's a boring game, not a boring sport.
The very first baseball game I ever went to as a kid was, I think it was 16 or 17 innings. It was the Phillies versus the Pirates at home, and obviously in Philadelphia. And I think the game went to 16 innings, and we were there till like 1 a.m. because this was back before the pitch clock and everything like that,
Absolutely.
where an inning could be an hour. One inning could be an hour very easily. So yeah, I get it.
The good thing is,
but I enjoy it.
Like you could have taken a full nap and not missed anything though.
Yeah, you did.
No, you didn't miss anything.
No, you know why? Because you don't pay. You got to watch the batters, right? You got to see how they're swinging at the ball, right? You got to watch, especially if the pitcher's pitching a couple of innings, right? His velocity decreases. You can see the strategy. You generally, if a batter pays close attention, they're going to know what pitch is coming next in some cases, right? Because sometimes pitchers have a set of pitches that they throw in a row. Sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes they do that. A good batter can pick that out and hit the ball because of it. There's a lot of strategy to baseball that you just don't pay attention to.
I don't.
A lot of strategy.
A lot.
Base running strategy is huge, right? You have the coaches on the first and third base, right? That they're not just there to say, "Oh, I think you should run out." There's a lot of strategy behind those guys being there.
Okay.
So
if you say so,
I do say so. It's the World Series. Who cares if it's 18 innings?
So I will admit that I normally watch the World Series. I just haven't this year.
Yeah.
I stopped watching a lot of sports.
Did you?
Yeah, I don't like. I just found other things that
were more interesting to you.
Well, yeah, I think first of all, like it all started during the pandemic, right? Like I thought I was going to watch more sports, right?
Yeah.
But and I watched like the hockey playoffs when they went to Canada and set up the thing. But then like after that, I didn't find the time to watch it. And I think a lot of sports have been made more boring over the years, right? Like they keep adding rules, they keep adding limitations, like all in the name of safety or time and like I used to love football. Right?
Okay.
Now
the kickoff.
the
The kickoff
kickoff,
rule drive me nuts.
the you can't look at the quarterback wrong. Like there's all these
look
things,
at him,
right? Like,
look at him with the stink eye.
yeah,
You
the
get a
stink eye.
flag.
It's a 5-yard penalty, right? Like, no, like, let's get back to like, this was a contest. There was a reason you got paid millions of dollars to go on that field.
Yeah.
It was because, yes, the risk of getting injured was relatively high, right? Like, same thing, basketball. They're now managing their court time and blah. I'm like, just play. Like, yes, I get we are supposed to protect them and all that stuff.
Right.
But like, if you go into a professional sport, you're not going to have, other than possibly like, I don't know, golf, you're not going to have a 20-year career.
Not to,
Like,
I mean, very rarely. Not in football. Certainly not in football.
but they are now able to extend that, right?
Yeah.
Like, because fewer injuries, fewer, like, I get it.
Yeah.
But like, I used to watch football because of defense, right? Now, I think he had his hand on his back, right? Interference. Like, really? Really? Just stop.
So watch Gummi Sports Podcast every Thursday.
Every Thursday. I'm sorry. I just, but anyways.
No worries, man. No, I understand. I do. A lot of the rules are there for safety reasons. A lot of the baseball rules recently have been to make the game more exciting. The pitch
Correct.
clock, you can't throw
And
to first base more than I think it's 3 times, right?
Because
I don't know, back in the day, man, they would throw I've seen them throw to first base 10 times in a row. It drags it out. It gets boring.
Right. So
I get it.
Maybe I should give baseball another chance.
You absolutely should.
So.
All right. While we're waiting for questions on TikTok, please send us your comments. We'd love to hear from you with your questions today. We are going to go over to Reddit, and we are going to take some posts from there. So we are in the Business Ideas subreddit, and this is from ThinkBicycle5598, who says, "Partners' business ambition versus reality, seeking advice. Background: we are in a long-distance relationship, planning to get married within a year." I'm assuming this is a business thing, right? Let's find out.
Yes.
"My partner is launching a business." There it is. "But his vision is too big, and I'm worried about his all-in approach, approximately 80% of his efforts and savings, combined with his lack of personal saving. While I'm more logical and strategic and have tried to offer advice, he tends to jump in head first. He claims to be running projections and what-if scenarios, but he has made avoidable rudimentary mistakes. My main concern is his financial mindset. He speaks as if revenue is imminent." Oh, God. "But I keep having to remind him that this is a 2+ year commitment before we see significant financial return." Sounds like you know more than he does. "I fear he's relying on instant revenue. As his future romantic partner," sounds like a love story, some kind of.
It's long distance. He has ambitions of starting a business.
"As his future romantic partner, I need advice on 2 main points. How can I strategically approach this topic with him without constant nagging or creating conflict? And 2, is there a specific type of coach or mentor who can provide an objective, in-depth vetting of his entire business plan?" All right, let's start with number 2. Number 2 is very easy.
Yeah.
All over the country, and write this down if you're on TikTok, whatever, write this down. All over the country, there are organizations, one of which is known as SCORE, SCORE. And SCORE, for example, is, generally speaking, retired executives, retired business owners that just want to give back to the community. They made their fortune. They don't ask for any money. You can donate to the organization if you want to, but they don't ask for any money, and they will provide you freely with advice on what you're doing wrong. You need to bring your business plan, your ideas. They will look through all of it with you and guide you along the way to getting your business started, getting your first client, et cetera, et cetera. Go ahead.
I used to volunteer for SCORE.
Yeah.
So
I do a lot of work with SCORE.
Yeah, we used to teach like marketing 101 type stuff to business owners that were starting. And it was just a great way for us to kind of give back to the community and help people out.
Yeah. I have clients that have worked with SCORE for multiple years.
Yeah.
Like they start out, they have an idea, they go to SCORE, SCORE helps them out. And SCORE will, as long as you want to stay with them, they'll stay with you and they'll help you build your business. They are they're a great organization with mentors.
Aren't they financed by the SBA?
They are, I believe they're financed by the SBA, yes, because obviously what will happen is once you go and you want to start getting money and start getting loans to help run your business, S-Corp will help you get your SBA application and stuff. I do believe, I don't know if they're directly financed,
I think they
but
are.
I know there's a relationship there. So I could be wrong on that.
Okay.
All right. So that's the first part. Mentor, an organization like S-Corp or S-Corp itself. I would highly recommend S-Corp.
Me too.
Okay. Now, as far as how can I strategically approach this without constant nagging or creating conflict? Well, that could be a little more difficult.
There's going to be conflict.
Yeah, there's going to be conflict. There has to be conflict.
Yes.
Now, the nagging, I understand that. Approach it a couple of times. Don't just, keep going at it. That's where the nagging comes in. But the conflict, there's going to be, and the conflict is very simple. He thinks X, you think Y. That's conflict.
Yes.
There's going to be conflict here. So just be prepared for that. But also prepare him for it. Let him know, look, I'm going to speak my mind, tell you what I think is going on.
It's really hard though, because like you and I have both talked to entrepreneurs that have all these hopes and dreams, right? Like, and you always feel bad when you got to kind of
break them,
the bubble, right? And be like, so I understand your projections. I understand this is what you would like to accomplish. And like, I see business plans all the time, right? And I can tell you that the first things in business plans that I see that is normally wrong is cost of marketing.
Oh yeah.
They underestimate it by 90%, right? They overestimate their revenue by anywhere from 30 to 70%. They timing, how long things are going to take, the building of things, like it's mostly wrong, right? And I remember, I think it was Sam Altman from OpenAI, right? Because he's a VC.
Right.
And he was like, he's like, I always know the difference between a new entrepreneur and a seasoned entrepreneur, because the new entrepreneur comes in with like a business plan and numbers and things. And the seasoned entrepreneur comes in and says, hey, we have this idea. We're probably going to lose money for the first couple of years, but if everything goes well, at year 2, we should hit the turnaround and looks like we might be profitable by year 3. And he's like, that guy's been around the block. Right.
So, all right. New entrepreneurs, and this doesn't just go for Think Bicycle. New entrepreneurs in general, listen very carefully. When you make your business plan, more importantly, when you make your financial forecast, here's what I want you to do. Take the revenues and divide them by 2. Take the expenses and multiply them by 3. Okay? That's what you do. And whatever numbers you came up with initially are wrong. I can promise you, if you have not been in business before, I'm not going to say you don't know what you're doing, but you don't know what you're doing. Right. Okay? Your numbers are wrong. Divide your revenue by 2, multiply your expenses by 3. If it's still profitable, then maybe you have something.
I could agree with that.
You have to, because it's you have no idea how many you're always thinking, and oh no, I'm very conservative with my numbers. Okay, divide them by 2. Right. I did that already. Good. Do it again. Because if you came up with a business plan as a new entrepreneur who's never been in business before, and all the numbers look great, you're doing something wrong. Those numbers probably shouldn't look as good as you think they are, because what's happening is you're overestimating something or you're underestimating some kind of expense. Divide by 2, multiply by 3. Period.
That's a good baseline, right? Like that's going to be your year 1.
That's year 1. I'm not saying that's for 5 years out. No. That is year 1.
Correct.
You're going to come up with things are going to come up that you're going to have to spend money on that you haven't even thought of yet.
I have seen all expenses, insurance expenses. They never called an insurance agent to find out what the actual insurance cost was. Like all these things that are missing from the business plan. You're like, where are you accounting for that? How are you going to deliver this thing? Well, you're going to need a vehicle. Well, that now has to be a business vehicle.
Okay,
Where's that vehicle coming from? Right?
You said insurance. I'll give you a perfect example of an unexpected cost that's going to come up. What people don't realize in most cases, let's take workers' comp insurance, for example. You get a quote from an insurance company. They say, all right, it's going to cost arbitrarily $10,000 a year for workers' comp. Let's say you have 40 employees, right? $10,000 a year for workers' comp. Okay. What you don't realize is that's just an estimate. They will do an audit at the end of the year, and that 10,000 could very easily be 30,000.
Depending on what type of work you're doing,
how risky it was. You may have said that it was office work, When in reality, you have 5 guys that, do something else. They load vehicles. Oh, how many times they load? Oh, they probably load the vehicles once a week when the shipments go out. Oh, well, that's not office work.
Correct.
That's different. That instead of that rate being, 1.5%, it's actually 4%.
Yes.
Right. And that just raised your cost. So that cost was something you did not anticipate.
Going through an
But
audit.
guess what? In year 2, you'll be anticipating that.
Correct. Yeah. It's yeah.
That's just one example. There's so many of them. So, that's something, Think Bicycle, that's something I would absolutely talk to them about. I would say, look, you have all these pie in the sky ideas for revenue and, these minuscule expenses. Here are things you couldn't possibly have thought about.
Right.
Because you've never been through this before. So show them our podcast, divide by 2, multiply by 3.
Yeah. That gets you close.
That gets you close.
Yeah.
That'll get you close to reality.
But she is correct that for most businesses, it's a 2-year production, 2 years out before you actually start making any type of real money.
Oh my God. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, can you make enough money to survive your first year? For most, yes, because you're really just taking care of you for the most part. Right.
Yep.
But yeah, to look at numbers and be like, hey, I'm going to hit $1 million in revenue my first year.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
maybe
what is it, like 10% of businesses ever get to $1 million? Ever. Right? Like, I get it if you're in like construction and you're bidding on a $3 million project. Right? Yes, it's $3 million in revenue, but
how much of that's
it's $280,000 in expenses.
Yeah.
Right? Like the margins aren't quite there.
Yeah.
Right?
Or 2.8 million.
Yeah. And
in expenses.
And I forget what the number, like if you're at a point in your business where you're making $1 million in like net profits, you're in like the top 0.5%, I think, or something like ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what people don't realize is a sweet spot for a business, especially if you're one person or 2 people that own the business. Let's just say one person that owns the business with a couple of employees, $450,000, $500,000 a year in revenue. That's probably it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe 100, 150 in expenses and you walk away with 300.
Yeah.
That's a great business.
Yes. That's
a fantastic business.
Yes.
People don't realize you don't have to make millions.
No.
You don't have to make millions.
No.
Good luck. I hope you do.
I do
good for
too.
you. But you don't have to make millions of dollars to have a successful business.
No.
So, again, be realistic about those expenses. All right. So Think Bicycle 5598. I hope that answers your question. If there are any other questions currently on TikTok, please put them.
Scroll down a little bit. I see someone asked.
There's one here. Oh, we're getting there.
No, what's the idea?
Oh, what is the idea? Don't want to disclose it on a public platform.
Okay.
Good for you. Yes. Very nice. I like that. Very nice. Although I do like seeing them sometimes, but that's okay. I like that you're being protective of your idea. Very good. All right, back to TikTok. This is from Maria Faria. Maria Faria, right? That's how I'm reading that, right? Aren't I?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Maria Faria.
Yep.
I want to start a trampoline rental business, but don't know how to start. What should I do? I'm going to assume this is legit because that could be a joke too. But let's assume it's legit.
No, it could be because like my guess is she looked at something like the bouncy houses thing and like you could do this with a trampoline.
Oh, 100%.
You can pull those apart and put them back together.
Yeah.
And
First thing you do is you get as much insurance as humanly possible.
Yes.
Right. I don't care what whatever they quote you, get 4 of them.
Yeah.
You need as much insurance as possible.
Call an insurance agent and see if this is even an insurable business.
Oh, it'll be insurable. It's just a matter of how much it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you a lot.
Yeah.
Because there are, okay, so first off, let's put all the risk aside for a minute. How do you start? Absolutely, positively get yourself an LLC or a corporation. No question about it. Okay.
Correct.
That's how you start. You get yourself an LLC set up. Once you do that, get your contracts drafted for your customers. Get as much risk limitation in there as humanly possible.
So start with market research. See if this is even viable.
Again, I'm going to assume it is.
Okay. So
for parties and things like that.
Let's see if there is enough interest in it, right? So like look at the communities, talk to people, like literally go out in the community, go to the schools, go to whatever, ask the moms and the like, hey, would you ever consider renting a trampoline for a party? Right. Because your direct competitor is going to be the bouncy houses, right? And most of those businesses struggle. But I would start by asking in the community whether if there's even an interest for it.
Yeah,
right? Like not in a million years would I rent a trampoline.
No, they're dangerous.
Yes.
I'm sorry to
Right?
say they are
And
dangerous, and a
especially
lot of families won't let their kids near
I
them.
don't know how it's been maintained. I don't know
Yeah.
how old the springs are. You know,
I'm there with you.
but
Our neighbor has always had a trampoline for
Yeah.
their kids, and thank God, no one's ever really gotten
Right.
hurt. There have been a couple of bruises and
Yeah.
such, but no one's ever really gotten hurt. Now their trampoline has the netting on the
Yes.
outside, and it's really, really stiff stuff,
Yeah.
so that if someone does happen
you
to
bounce right back
they
in.
bounce right back in.
Yes.
So I'm not gonna say it's the safest thing in the world, but it's safer than a lot of the trampolines
Correct.
I've seen that don't
Like,
have that.
I get it.
Yeah.
But get the insurance quote.
Yeah, get the insurance quote first before you do anything else.
Talk to an attorney, see what type of contract you need.
Yeah.
If you're moving forward with this, let's assume that there is enough interest that you're going to go, yes, this is a viable business. Then insurance, legal contracts, pricing, you're going to be pricing it around whatever a bouncy house probably is.
Yeah, maybe a little more.
Yeah, figure out, like, do your basic, like, how long does it take to put up? How long does it take to pack? How long do people need it for?
Right.
Are you okay leaving it overnight? Right? Like, do you have to, like the bouncy houses?
Yeah.
If I rent it for a Saturday night, a lot of times they don't pick it up till Monday.
Right.
They just leave it there, right?
Yep.
Which is acceptable.
Yep.
Would people be okay leaving a trampoline in their yard for an extra day?
Right.
Right.
And what happens if the trampoline is in your yard and a bad
Correct.
storm comes through? We have had our neighbor's trampoline. They've gone through probably 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
Not because the kids ruined them.
Has it been in your pool yet?
Oh, it's been in our yard. One time during a bad hurricane, trampoline, because literally it's right next to our house, lifted up, went over our yard, over the next yard, and into the street.
Nice.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. I think that's a risky business.
I do. I agree. Great movie, by the way.
Risky business? Yeah, it's a great movie. But yeah, I mean, do all your homework, check all the boxes, and ask all the questions. Play the game with someone, what could go wrong.
Yep.
Right? And then once you figure out all the things that can go wrong, what can I insure myself against and what can I prevent?
Correct.
Right? Because you might even be looking at, the insurance company may underwrite it, but there's a clause in there that says you have to have an employee present at all times while it's being rented, right? Like, so there's all these little nuances with stuff like this that is considered high risk.
Yep.
That they will put in. Because I remember and it can be different based on township or county.
Right.
Because I think in Montgomery County, the bouncy places, if it's at a public location, they have to have an employee on site
at all times.
Right? Yeah. It's something weird.
Like in a park or something like that.
Right.
But if it's someone's private residence, you don't have to?
I don't think so. Right. Like, but once again, it's all those nuanced rules.
The local rules come into play for a lot of these things.
Yes.
This is what we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
How would you know? Unless you either you do lots and lots and lots of research, or you talk to someone who knows the business.
I would try to find someone that owns like a bouncy rental business and talk to them before and like see, is this a viable business or not? Because like I always say, anything can be a viable business.
Right.
It's just a matter of, can it be profitable?
Right.
Right.
True. So I hope that answers your question, Maria Furia. If you have a follow-up, or if anybody else on TikTok has a question, please put it into the comments, and we'd love to get on the air. Although we only have about 20 minutes left. Really? Man, yeah, wow, yeah, we have about 20 minutes left for today. Wow. So get your questions in now, folks.
It's because we turned it into a sports cast.
It was a sports cast for a little while, exactly.
That's okay.
All right, let's see. We are back to Reddit.
What else we could make it other than a sports thing? We could make it a commercial.
Oh, no.
For Arnold Palmer.
For our non-sponsor.
For our non-sponsor, half and half, iced tea and lemonade. Yeah. Absolutely delicious. If you haven't tried it, I recommend you try one today.
Arizona tea. Listen very carefully. Gummi loves your Arnold Palmer drinks.
I do.
Gummi has been promoting your Arnold Palmer drinks for over a year now, I think. Okay.
Every episode.
And We do it out. We do it out of the love of Gummi's heart for your product.
It is delicious.
Show him some love back. Tell Gummi you love him too. He just wants to know that you listened. That's all. That's all he cares about. All right. So this is from FTR. I'm sure it says something. Innovator X, who says, starting a business. What are some pain points businesses face that I can turn into a profitable company? Wait, okay, hold on. I'm starting a business and I specifically want to do B2B. So if you're an entrepreneur or a business owner, what are some problems that you have, which there aren't a lot of efficient solutions for in the marketplace, or just want some ideas you can think could evolve into a profitable company? So basically, how do I take your pain and make money off it?
Yes.
That's what he's asking. And hold on. That's business in general.
Yes. Right. But this is what I tell people to do all the time, right? Like, go out and solve a problem.
Yeah.
Right. And how do you solve a problem? Well, you go find out what the problems are. And I've said it, go stand on a street corner and ask people like, hey, what are some common problems you have? He is literally doing what I have told people to do. He's asking business owners, what is a problem that you have that you would be willing to pay someone for to solve?
Yeah.
Right. Like,
now,
it's brilliant.
Well, hold on.
It's a brilliant start.
It's a good start. I get it, but that's kind of your job, is to go out and find out what the problems are.
Yeah. But how, like, if you don't go around.
Yeah, if you're on the street corner, I get it. You're taking a survey. Right. Hey, are you a business owner? What problems do you face?
Yes.
I guess that's kind
of
what
he's doing.
I don't like the way they're
like,
asking it.
No,
I
get it. Right. Like, but
I want to make money off of your pain. It's kind of basically what it says.
But that's what almost everyone does.
But you can do it a different way. You can approach it a different way. I'm just saying,
Okay.
No, I would say this.
It's not.
Here's how I would have said it.
Not what you said.
It is what you said.
It's how you said it.
Yes, it's how you said it. Exactly. It's how you said it.
Yes.
I would have said, I'm looking to start. I'm thinking off the top of my head. I'm looking to start a business where I can help entrepreneurs solve the problems that they have every day in their business. What are some of the problems that you face?
That is very eloquent.
Thank you.
Okay. Now let's get back to his questions.
Well, hold on.
That may have been poorly phrased.
I want to get to one of the comments here because I think this guy's got a very good point. So this is from Stormley, who says, the absolute biggest B2B pain point right now is data silos and integration fatigue.
Yep.
There are 1,000 apps for everything, CRM, marketing, ops, etc. But getting them to reliably talk to each other without constant breakage, expensive consultants, or clunky Zapier / make hacks is a chronic money-wasting problem for almost every scaling business.
Yes.
Bravo. Absolutely correct.
We have a client that we're working with right now that has a rather complicated system that has to be solved.
Yeah.
And they're looking at Zapier to solve the problem.
Yeah.
Like, will it work? Yes. Is it scalable? Maybe.
Maybe.
But it's a Band-Aid for right now.
It's a Band-Aid. And that Band-Aid is going to stretch and pull, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. There are so many. And it used to be, so Salesforce, when it first came out, was the be all end all. It was everything you needed. It was in one place, right? Then there was, well, now we need this and now we need this. And everything became a micro product where it's like, this product does this one thing. This product does this one thing.
Yes.
And now we need them all to work together again.
Yes. It's
a cycle. This is the way it is. And what's going to happen is someone's going to build that one product and it's going to get too expensive and too cumbersome to use, and then they're going to go back to the micro silos again, and then it's a constant cycle with software. I mean, if you look at software from the 70s, 80s, 90s, it was the same thing.
Yes,
it was one big platform. Okay, we don't want to use everything in there. I just want that one piece. Now they have the micro platforms, and then I need it all to work together. Okay, here's your big platform again. It's the same thing. It really does have that cycle effect. But point being, back to FTR Innovatrix or Innovator X. Yes, solving people's problems, solving businesses' problems. Is a great business to have, right? Yes. And Jason put a comment in on TikTok that says consulting. It's like consulting. Yes. You're absolutely right. It is like consulting, right? Your job could be the consultant to go to their company and find out where the shortcomings are.
Mm-hmm.
Spend a week, 2 weeks with the company, talking to different staff, watching how they work,
Yep.
find out where the shortcomings are, and fix those problems.
Yes.
Or, come up with solutions to fix those problems.
Find the problems they're not aware of.
Yeah, find the problems they're not even aware exist. That's
Yes.
exactly right. Yeah. So that's a way to do it, right? So, I'm looking at some of these other comments, but so this is from Educational Emu 3763 says, finding and solving pain points is what the business is. If I'm hearing you correctly, you want people to tell you what the issue is so you can solve it. Your job is to find the issue. Yes. Yeah. I agree with that. Now there's no question about it. There are certain people who you're going to be able to go to and say, are you having problems? As a matter of fact, I am. And here's my problem. But like we said earlier about the consulting things, you're trying to find problems they don't even know they have.
Correct.
Right. And that's where I think you could actually have a good, viable business, because it's easy. It's going to be hard. As I say, it's going to be harder to find people that know they have a problem and aren't already implementing a solution.
It comes back to the thing we've talked about in the past too, is often people see the symptom as the problem.
Yeah.
But the symptom is really a symptom.
Yeah.
Right. So, and they don't know how to identify the problem itself. And our consulting business, for example, that's one of the things that we do from both like a marketing, branding, employee perspective, is we help them identify where's the weak point in their brand,
right,
that is having a ripple effect through the business.
Yep.
Right. I'll give you an example. We were working with a hospital that was being taken over by a different hospital, and they just weren't aligning. And it had to do with how each unit was approaching what they did and what they were specializing in. And the two just didn't quite mesh, right? Like executive teams were like, everything was just a little bit more difficult than it needed to be.
Sure.
And they brought us in to help redefine what the hospital that was being bought was going to be and to get everybody on board, right? But in that case, the symptom was executive teams not getting along, right? Like, oh, it's a people problem. No, it's not just a people problem, right? The marketing teams weren't sure how to message it. Like, there were all these symptoms, and the real problem was that they were struggling with who they were as an entity.
Yeah.
Right. And that had a ripple effect. Once again, they knew all their symptoms. It wasn't until we talked to them where they were like, oh, that's the problem. We're like, yeah, that is the problem.
That is the problem. Yeah.
Your brand identity is off.
Yeah, right? Exactly. So, all right.
Because a lot of people don't understand that brand identity is not just external. It is also internal.
Right.
Right. Like, it affects people on both working within the business and people doing business with the business. So.
Exactly. Yeah. Because your brand identity could affect your the corporate culture, so to speak.
It does 100%,
company culture,
right? Like, your brand identity look at someone like Patagonia, right? Do you think how they value things as a business externally and sell things affects what vendors they choose?
Right.
Right?
Of course.
Of course it does, right? Do you think that determines what retailers they want to sell their product in?
Exactly.
Right? Like, it's such an interwoven part of businesses, and a lot of times it gets overlooked, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right. So Innovator X or FTR Innovator X, I hope that maybe it's future FTR, I'll say it's future Innovator X. I hope that helps you a little bit. Again, I wouldn't go down the road of, hey, what problem are you having? Let me pay me to solve it, as opposed to what my service is to come into your company, figure out what problems you don't even realize you have, and then solve those problems. So good luck to you on that. Okay. I think we're going to end with this one today. Okay. Height 5147 says, home cooked meal subscription app. I like this. What is it? Fresh homemade meals delivered via an app connecting home chefs with busy office goers, students, and solo dwellers. Why it matters. Real home cooked taste, convenient subscriptions, and empowers home chefs to earn. What feedback you want? Would you use it? What features or improvements would make it irresistible? How is that different than what's it called? Blue.
So she's talking about an app that connects. So let's say, for example, I cook every night,
Yeah.
right? Does it matter whether I cook for 4 or 6 people?
Not really. No.
It makes no significant difference, right? What she's saying is someone like me could sell my extra 2 meals,
Oh, I see.
or I could decide to just be a stay-at-home cook and
So it's not the
cook for-
ingredients; it's actually cooked food.
correct.
Okay,
So
I
you
got you.
get
So that's
a-
very different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you get a full meal
Right.
that was cooked by me.
Yep.
So I kind of like the idea. My only concern is most of the time when you sell food,
There's all kinds of regulations with that.
correct,
Yeah.
especially the environment the food was cooked
Yep.
in.
Yeah.
right?
You have
Like,
to have your kitchen certified and everything.
correct.
Now they're home chefs. Maybe they already have that. I don't know.
So
but
this is where that fine line is, right? Like if you are a home baker, you can sell your bread at a farmer's market and
Right.
it's not a problem.
yes.
Now you're talking about utilizing a professional subscription service.
Yeah.
Where you are ordering food from me.
I don't know what
Like,
the rules
it's-
are for that.
I don't
I'd
either.
have to look into that.
I mean, I like the idea. It's just a matter of can it be legally
Okay,
executed?
so comment here from 123 Moondance
Mhm.
on the Reddit on the Reddit platform says, is this random home cooks are the random cooks making food for people in offices? Is the home inspected by the health department? What is the recourse for food poisoning? Well, that's a great question.
Correct.
Not sure I'm getting what you're saying, but I have seen too many nasty home nasty home kitchens to ever trust a random stranger to cook for me. That's a great point. I don't even trust restaurants that much these days, but at least they get inspected once in a while.
Correct.
Now that's a very
They
good
get
point.
health reports.
They
and
get
all
health
that
reports,
stuff, right?
et
So
cetera, et
like,
cetera.
a client of mine owns a cookie business. And when she first started, it was just out of her kitchen. But she had to get the health department
Yeah.
in to look at the kitchen.
Right.
She ultimately renovated her basement and turned it into like a full home bakery.
Oh, cool.
But once again, that gets certified every
Yep.
year. She has an inspector that comes out, right? Like, but there were all these things she had to do. Like she had to add, I think, a second sink. So there's all these things that are rules and regulations for when you are selling food, right?
Yeah.
Like it is heavily regulated. Do you need to have like top level standards? No, but you need to meet the minimum requirements, right?
Yeah. Man, we would have to do a lot of research
Mhm.
on what you would have to do from a compliance standpoint.
Right. So
in
this
order
is
to do something
this
like
is
that.
kind of like a DoorDash for home cooks, right? Where I, as a person, am making the food, and now I have a third-party app. And here's the other thing: like now the home cooks would have to plan their meals and put up their menus, and
Yeah.
like, or would it be, hey, I'm having whatever you're cooking tonight, right? And
Right.
it's just you don't know what you're getting.
Yeah.
Right. Like today it could be spaghetti and tomorrow it could be fish. Right?
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
Is it totally random?
Right.
Like
And I imagine food allergies come into play and stuff like that.
correct.
Jason, by the way, Jason, you've been on the whole podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Says it's really barriers to entry. There are many apps that do that.
So yeah, they kind of do it. I mean, they do it coming from professional kitchens.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and then you have the home cooked meals like the Blue Aprons and all of
Yeah,
those.
Blue Apron. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I kept thinking Blue Harvest, which is
Yeah,
a,
it's okay.
a Family Guy thing.
But yeah, this is really like, do I like the idea? Yes.
Yeah, I dig. I would
it-
love that.
Is it executable?
Probably. Well, if there's other apps doing it, maybe.
They're not. They're doing it from professional kitchens.
Oh, okay.
Right. Like, or they're meals cooked in a certified kitchen and you get the meals.
Gotcha. Right.
The I'm making spaghetti tonight and I'm sending 2 portions to my neighbor.
Yep.
Or someone that lives a mile away, whatever. I don't think that fully exists.
I don't know. It's an I think it's an interesting idea. You know what? People would have said the same thing about Uber 15 years ago. It's like, no, cabs, you got to have a license to be a cab driver. You can't just be picking people up off the street. There might be ways to do it. You know what I mean? You got to get the right licensing or something.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting.
yeah. So okay, I like the idea.
Yeah. Once again, like the idea.
It just might be an execution issue, but That's why you talk to an attorney or a business advisor or SCORE. Talk to SCORE.
Yeah.
All right. So I brought Ethan in very quickly. So Ethan, we have a special podcast next week, right?
Yeah.
Monday, November 3rd, 4 p.m. We'll be at Newman Goretti High School doing a podcast in their podcast studio. So backstory is one of my best friends, one of my roommates in college is the president of Newman Goretti, and he invited us to do the Startitorscrapit podcast in their auditorium in front of their audience. And so it's going to be Monday, November 3rd, 4 p.m. Eastern.
Yep.
So if you're listening or if you watch this later, please log in and help us promote. Help us get the podcast, and we'll be asking for your question just like we do today. But it will be in front of a live audience, and I think that's so cool. I'm excited for that.
It's pretty cool.
So thanks, Ethan. Appreciate it, man.
4 p.m. on the 3rd. We'll see you guys.
4 p.m. on the 3rd. So that'll be our next podcast, Monday, November
Now
3rd at 4 p.m.
The $1 million question is:
Yeah.
Are we then doing another one Wednesday?
Sure,
Okay.
we'll do one Wednesday. Why
Okay.
not?
New
So-
snaps will be there.
Oh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll be there.
Awesome. So, for everyone who commented and had some questions today, we really appreciate it. Thank you, TikTok.
Do you remember New Snaps? It's the one that had the magnetic thing. For
Oh
boats.
yeah, hence new snaps. Right?
Uh-huh.
No, that's great. So we really do appreciate it. Please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Make sure you like it. Make sure you share it with your friends, because as more people get to watch it, maybe Gummi will actually get his Arizona iced tea shipped to him one day from Arizona
One day.
Iced Tea Company.
One day. They're gonna be like, we'll send with a note not to mention this again.
No, cease and desist. Here's a can. Shut
Yes.
up. All right, with that, TikTok, thank you for watching today, and everybody else that watches this later on. Leave us comments and questions. We'd love to get to them in our next episode. So with that, my friend, great talking to you today.
See you
We'll
Monday.
see you on Monday at 4 p.m. at Newman Goretti High School. See ya.